Welcome everyone, Paul Saladino here. I hope this finds you well. In this confusing time that we're all experiencing right now, so many of us are bogged down with uncertainty and we're riddled with anxiety. Many of you have reached out over the last couple of months, curious if I could make some predictions about what I feel is going to be happening and maybe even share some information that I've gathered with my connection through mediumship and those who've passed on. Well, I'd like to share with you some of that information in this video, some of which is exciting, some of which is sad, and most of all, most of it being detrimental to the well-being of humanity. Before I go there, I'd like to just tell you, during my appointments, before I have a connection to those in spirit, and in my meditations, I ask the angels, archangels, masters, and teachers, any of which who've walked this earth and those who reside in heaven, to please come and support me, to surround me with light, to protect me from anything dark, and to offer me the information that would be for my greatest and highest good, and that of anyone else who is interested in spiritual growth. And in the last couple of months, the information has been a bit heavy, as you can imagine. With all that's going on in the world right now and all the sadness and fear and frustration and confusion that we're experiencing, that has made the information that much more important. So as I sit in meditation, or if I do connect to someone in spirit during an appointment, they're all saying the same thing. Now I want you to also remember that those who reside in the spiritual realm, those who've passed on, they see this completely different. They are residing in love. Our souls, once we exit this existence of humanity, go back to complete love. Now, in order for them to communicate with me, they have to lower their vibration, and I have to raise mine in order to meet them, and they then instill feelings, emotions, thoughts, words into my head. And then I have to share that. So what they've been doing often is bringing up the fact that we have lost our way. Now, some people might agree that we were supposed to lose our way, that this is part of our growth. In what I've learned, our free will as humanity, our egos, have created divide and separation. It has offered us to walk away from the path that is bringing us enlightenment and empowerment. It has brought us to a dark place. And in doing that, there had to be an intervention of some sort. And so they speak of this intervention as being the transition from human consciousness to spiritual awareness. This is what they have spoken about to me for the last 3 months, constantly. But what's interesting about it is they don't do it collectively. They speak of it individually. That it is our responsibility, each one of us, to take our own life and change it. Not to be concerned with what other people are doing, or place blame, point the finger, or carry any resentment. That each one of us, in order to make the world change, need to take responsibility for ourselves and ourselves alone. Each one of us has to go deep within ourselves during this universal timeout and to reorganize, reprioritize, to clean out the bad and the hurt and the pain that we've experienced, and now turn it into something positive. That we need to use our past as a reference, not a backpack. We don't need to keep bringing it forward into our future. And by letting it go, releasing it, by taking the good from it, we can then free ourselves up from burden. We can live in the moment and experience the bliss that we're supposed to be doing. But we also need to embrace the better part of ourselves, connect to our soul, our spirit, and live through wisdom, not intellect. I know that sounds crazy because so many people will argue the fact that we need to think constantly, or we need to figure out or learn. And yes, that is so very important. But it should take a back seat to how we feel. If we can all shift our consciousness to our hearts, then we'll be connected to our spirit. That part of us which sees clearly to our greatest and highest good. That which will help us to embrace change in a positive manner. We don't need to think through that. We need to feel it. And once you can embrace that part of you, once you can start to really build up your worth, take pride in who you are, stay accountable for your actions and your reactions, your motives and your intentions, then you can change the energy throughout the little world that you are creating. And then eventually, if we all took that and we all did that respectfully, could you imagine how we can change the universal energy? But so many of us are caught up in blame right now. We're looking for answers. We want to know why and how come and where and all those ifs that don't matter. Positive change and the eventual outcome of unity will be created by each one of us changing our own lives. And it's hard to do because so many of us would rather look outside of ourselves and place blame or divert the attention away from ourselves rather than go within ourselves and clear out the old bads that have created bad habits, that have forced us to do things that we're not really benefiting from. And we'd rather look at someone else and place the blame on them. Well, this whole transition is supposed to get us to see that we are all the same. There is not one person on this earth better than another. That is our human consciousness. That has been created by thought and by our ego. We are all created in the same likeness. Each one of us is a very important puzzle piece that makes up the masterpiece that God had created. And without one piece, there's not one better than the other. They may be different shapes, different sizes, different colors, but they are all part of a greater plan that we are not seeing. And as you shift your consciousness from human consciousness to spiritual awareness, you tap into infinite wisdom. You gain the understanding that we are all supposed to unite through this experience. And yet our egos are keeping us divided, separated, angry. We're pointing a finger, we're blaming, we're judging. That is the experiences that have allowed these situations to rear its ugly head once again. If we're going to stop the divide, we need to draw on wisdom and all the positive emotions that we have inside of us each and every day. We need to look at our opportunities every day that we have standing before us and embrace them. We need to lift ourselves up and become accountable and love ourselves unconditionally. Because when we do that, we hold ourselves accountable. And each one of us then can be a very strong part of positive change throughout this world. But we're not going to do that collectively unless we do it individually first. Your intention should come from love and embrace all of the kindness and the joy and the peace and the happiness that you have within you. If you're living in fear right now and confusion, if you're angry and upset, then you're only adding to the demise of the universal energy in this world, because your energy is connected through every person in this entirety, in this world. So take responsibility for you. Every day, wake up and get excited over what you can create today in a positive manner. Rule out the outside noise. Don't get connected to anything that is bringing you down. Some people think this is sticking your head in the sand and not being aware. No, it's actually strengthening the positive energy within yourself and then adding to that throughout the entire world. And I believe that that is the way that we're supposed to go about this change. It's what I've been told for the last couple of months. Many of the spirits that come over talk of regret. They speak of what they did as opposed to what they were supposed to do. We come here with a blueprint, with an intention, and we come here in the hope of learning so that we can expand our consciousness, that we can gain enlightenment in the afterworld, that we can be rewarded with our energy rising so much closer to God. That's what the goal is. That's what we're hoping for. But we're given this free will that oftentimes keeps us confused. And our ego keeps us in this false sense of reality that keeps us misguided and lost, always searching for our lives, trying to make our lives. Your spirit is already whole. Your soul already lives in bliss and understands that there is no bad. And if we can connect to that, then nothing is wrong in this world right now. Everything is here to teach us something. This is the lesson that they speak of constantly. To live without regret, to live to your fullest, to grasp onto the better version of you each and every day and let that part of you lead you. It will bring you to a more peaceful place. It will allow you so many more lessons learned, and it will give you a much more rewarding life here as a human, and especially when you pass on. We need to embrace love. We need to see that the differences between us are exciting. That which we're supposed to embrace and celebrate. We're not different. We're all the same. We're just here on different levels of understanding and with different lessons to learn. So why not celebrate and assist the person that's next to you? Not look at it as being different and condemn them for being so. We need to rise up. And this spiritual transformation that's going on within the world right now is going to bring harmony and peace to us. Eventually, it will allow the future generations to live a better existence. But we need to do the work, and the work starts with you. Take pride in who you are. Grab onto the better version, and don't be afraid to use all those positive emotions that you have within you to change your existence from gray to positive, to now go out and share that with everyone else. And watch how infectious it becomes. Watch how people yearn to feel good right now. Make someone laugh. Embrace someone. Do something kind for someone else. If we all spent our time with that kind of intention, where we were focused on doing good and embracing the moment in the moment, could you imagine how much good would spread throughout this world? But instead, many of us, like I said, are caught up in our heads and our thought and our fear, and we're bogged down and we're heavy with worry. That is only adding to the problem. It's not finding the solution. Right now, in your soul, everything is perfect. That is what they speak of. Every spirit I connect to speaks of the perfection that we as humans do not see. Because we're living with expectation and we're looking at bad and good and right and wrong. All is good and all is right. All serves a purpose of growth. We are here to learn. So inspire yourself every day to get this, grab onto it, and to understand this concept. You are far greater than you're allowing yourself to be. Do you want to be the victim and be part of the problem, or would you rather embrace the solution and become an empowered soul? That is what is going on in this world. That is what the spiritual realm is trying to get across to each and every one of us every day. So I hope that this will encourage you in some ways to look at life a little differently, to see that this is now a time of change, that it takes you within you, to do this work. Don't expect anyone else to do anything. Don't be saddened by anyone else's actions. Just be concerned with how good of a person you can be today. And then every day, follow up with becoming better. And you will begin this snowball effect into positive change that could eventually help to change the world. You're beautiful, wonderful, capable, and able. Don't cut yourself short. You are a magnificent soul that is residing in unconditional love and perfection. Tap into that part of you. And I promise you this will bring about a more peaceful and more happy, joyful life for you, even in this mushroom cloud of despair that's going on. I know that you want that. And I know each and every one of us wants to bring about positive change. So let go of blame, hate, prejudice, anger, frustration, and embrace compassion, empathy, love, kindness. And that will bring the change we're hoping for. That is what they speak of every time I connect to spirit. We don't want to go into heaven with regret. We want to go into heaven with reward. So I wish you all happiness and joy. I hope that this will maybe motivate you to look at life a little differently. And if there's anything that I can do to assist you or help you in any way, please reach out through my website at heavenshealingguidance.com. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for allowing me to be a very small part of your spiritual growth. And I want to just say thank you to you for allowing me to become a better version of myself. Let's today choose the good. And from every day that follows, just keep embracing it and supporting it. And I promise you, we, individually then collectively, can change the world. So please take care of yourself. Know that I'm here, and I love you very much, and be well.